How is porn affecting your mental health? That's our topic for today. You want to watch this. Every person watching porn needs to hear this basic information so they know how porn is impacting their mental health. Now, if you've yet to subscribe, please do. If you have a question about this or anything, send it to us. We'll get to it as soon as possible, but stay with us as we walk through this topic together. How is porn affecting your mental health? Now, before I get into that, let me tell you a little bit about who I am. I'm Dr. Doug Weiss. I'm the president of the American Association for Sex Addiction Therapy. I have literally seen at least 5,000 porn addicts. I have done psychological testing on probably more than 1,000 of those. So I'm not coming just off the hip with you. And I'm also not coming from a place of just professional. I'm a recovering sex addict. I've been sober for over 36 years now. I know what it's like to be addicted to pornography. I'm not in any way judging you. I'm on your side. And this is to give you just some basic information, because you ought to know if you're smoking cigarettes, your chances of lung cancer go up. You ought to know if you're consuming pornography that there are impacts. And these are scientific impacts. These aren't just like, religious impacts. These aren't make you feel bad, guilty impacts. Okay, although those are true, I'm gonna help you with some basic stuff. Okay, let's just start off with the big news flash that's been out for the last handful of years on porn-induced erectile dysfunction. And I'm talking about 20-year-olds who can't get an erection with the real woman because they've been masturbating and doing porn so much that they're so attached to the other world. Now, why is that? Because when they ejaculate, they get these endogenous opiates, hits the prefrontal cortex of the brain and literally glues to whatever you're looking at. Now, the thing about pornography is it's not a relationship. So you don't learn how to talk during sex, how to give eye contact during sex, how to be present emotionally, how to be giving as well as receiving. So you don't learn a lot of tools, and you learn that women are objects. They do what you want them to do, okay? You manage the fantasy. And so you learn some really bad things, and you don't learn some really good things. And so porn-induced erectile dysfunction, and we have a whole YouTube on that, you can look it up, is one of the things that affects your mental health, because when you can't get it up, you don't feel good. You just don't. You don't feel as much as a man. And if it's induced by pornography and it's self-inflicted, it's not medical. It's not that you've aged out, your testosterone's low or something like that. It's that you've done this to yourself. It impacts your mental health. It impacts the next thing we're going to talk about is self-esteem. Because if pornography, especially if you've been raised with any kind of value about women, that women have value, you're supposed to protect them, you don't hit girls, right? And you're supposed to honor them. And if you have any kind of spiritual background, you know pornography is not good. And so you don't feel good about doing it. You have a secret. And once you have a secret, you start separating yourself from others. So your ability to be intimate and connected to the same gender and opposite gender is limited, because you don't want anyone to find out your secret and find out that you're doing this stuff, because you could believe if you really knew me, you wouldn't love me. You don't go to your spouse or your best friends and say, hey, gosh, I was looking at porn for 3 hours last night. That's why I'm so tired. No, that's a secret. And when you have secrets, that affects your mental health. Now, depression is definitely one of the things. I did my dissertation on sexual addiction and depression, and we surveyed a significant number of sex addicts, and the score was 28% of them had the category of major depression. Okay, that would be, having low energy, having difficulty concentrating, having difficulty making decisions, thoughts of feelings of worthlessness, suicidal thoughts, low energy during the day, significant weight gain or weight loss, challenges with sleep. If you have several of those symptoms, you're in depression, and your porn might be why you're in a depression. Okay? The way you actually look at women after pornography has been researched again and again. And you're more likely to sexualize them and see them as things, and see them as proportions as opposed to people, souls, sisters, friends, daughters. You're not going to put them in a relationship context, because that is one of the side effects of seeing women in that isolated, sexualized way. Now, the women you're looking at, of course, are actresses, but you don't know that because you're making up that they really want to do this stuff. So the effects on your mental health are vast. The effects on your sexuality are vast, okay? So it can make you more anxious. People with pornography can struggle with more anxiety. Why? Because they're anxious about being found out. And that affects your mental health. Now, let me tell you a side effect of recovering from pornography that when you reverse it might illustrate that there's an effect, okay? Now, I've worked with over 5,000 porn addicts, most of them men, and the guys who are entrepreneurs, business owners, self-employed, are somehow salespeople that control their own income. They control their income. Within 1 year of stopping pornography, most, if not all, have doubled their income or more than doubled their income. Why? Their self-esteem has gone up. Their time management's gone up. Their creativity is now not trying to find time to look at porn and try to discover all the variants of pornography. It's trying to create money and wealth and opportunities. And because they're not trying to get off to their little office and be alone, for that hour, 2 or 3, they're in their office making the calls, doing the deals, researching things they need to find out, getting things done. So their productivity goes way through the roof. Now, when you double your income, your self-esteem is going to go up. It does. So one of the side effects of pornography is no matter what you're not making nearly as much as if you were not looking at pornography. And I've seen it hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. I'll never forget a guy who was making like $13 an hour. He was a computer service guy. You call on the phone for a tech. And he stopped doing the pornography and other things. And he started his own business. In the first year, he made $500,000. Okay, I can tell you story after story, even guys in corporations. I'll never forget a guy told me, I heard you speak and said if I stopped masturbating, I'd double my income. So I went back to that same city a year later, and he's like, hey, I want to take you to lunch. I go, okay. He said, well, you were wrong. I go, what? He says, I didn't double my income. I quadrupled it in 1 year. Okay, so do you think he felt better about himself? Do you think he felt better with his wife, not having a secret world sexually, just wanting to know, feeling anxious if she finds out, which also could affect your sexual performance. If you have guilt and shame going into sexuality, it could affect your sexual performance, which affects your mental health. Now, it can also lead to other things if you get into this long enough, okay, if you have predispositions to psychological disorders, it can definitely make them worse. But this is enough to help you understand that pornography is not a simple thing, and it does have impacts. There really should be warning labels on it, but we're not there yet. They have a bigger lobbying group than the people who want to get people better. But I really want to encourage you, if you need a porn blocker, we have it on our website. You can go there and get that. If you need help, serious help, then call my office. Numbers on the screen, call it. We have phone groups, counselors, coaches that can help you get free for the rest of your life. I've seen it happen thousands of times. It can happen for you, but you can't do it by yourself. All right? And if you need resources, go to the website. There's plenty for you to be able to begin getting well. Now, the other side effect of pornography is to your spouse. Lower self-esteem, depression, weight gain, PTSD symptoms, and these are all proven statistics in our book, Partner Betrayal Trauma. So your pornography does not just affect your mental health, it could strongly affect the mental health of your spouse. So please consider what I'm saying out of the heart. I'm saying, as a fellow journeyer, as someone who's been where you are and has been free for decades, proven by a polygraph, so I'm not blowing smoke at you, you can and get free your entire life, and all the problems connected to your pornography can begin to clear up out of your life, and you can be the real you. So please, if you've yet to subscribe, please do that. And the box there is for your questions. Let's hear back from you. If there's anything we can help you with, give us a call.